Welcome back, eSIMstudios. How's everybody doing? Let me check my audio real quick, as I always do. Welcome back, eSIMstudios. Sounds good to me. So, boy oh boy. Woke up this morning and didn't really know what I was going to do a show on today. And what do you know? I saw this hit the headlines. First thing I thought was, oh yeah, we're definitely going to talk about this. So, I've been studying, so if you have not heard by now, I think it just released in the last few hours. A press release came out, we'll review everything. President Donald Trump is going to release a phone, but not just a phone, a plan, carrier services. So you can get a phone and a plan with your president. I saw this and I thought, boy oh boy, this is going to be absolutely perfect for today's stream. So I put out a community post saying that we are going to review this. Maybe you're interested, maybe you're not, but we will dive into it. So it looks like we have a fair amount of people. We'll go ahead and get started. So we're going to review the phone. They're calling it the T1 phone and a T1 mobile plan. It's kind of unclear. I have video, I have pictures, and we will review the website that they just launched today to sign up for their plan, right? And if you want to be my guest, right? Let me put this out here. Let me put this out there. If you hear me make fun of or make light of, not necessarily make fun of, but we're gonna bring up serious questions that we have for this plan, for this phone. It's not easy stepping into the mobile phone space and or mobile plan space, because I was actually considering starting a small MVNO. I am. It's on the back burner, but I'm so busy. It's not easy, and it's a very, very competitive market. And they're going into competitive markets. They're going into the phone market, which is very competitive, and they're going into the mobile service market, which is even more, it's about just as competitive than releasing a phone. So they're going to do both, right? Now, obviously, they have one major thing going for them, and that's the name, right? But once you dive into this, we'll see how they set up the business and everything that entails this device and plan. So let me go ahead and pull up. I guess we can review this phone, right? So here's the phone. That is the phone. Now, we'll go through the specs, but just looking at the phone, interesting. Now, I emailed, they have a media email address just for Trump Mobile, and I emailed them to see if I can get some more information and or possibly an interview, not with the president. I mean, I'm sure he would laugh if I asked him for an interview, but somebody from the company, right? A spokesperson, somebody, a PR person, somebody that's in media relations, just to reach out and see if we can get some extra info, ask them some serious questions, because there are a number of questions that popped into my head that I really want answered, because I could not find the answer online. So now this phone, we're going to get into the specs. Just looking at it, it's going to be gold. So they're not going to have color options. It's going to be it looks like an iPhone from the back, right? It looks like you got an iPhone with a case on it, a gold case on it. So you're going to have the triple camera setup. It's going to be gold. You're going to have that big T1 on the back, and you're going to have that American flag. Now, let's look at some of these specs, right? So let me pull up this web page right here. Let me pull up the phone specs. Here we go. They don't give us a whole lot, but let me show you what we got. Actually, you know what? Let me show you something from Fox News. It's about a minute long, but I think is it Eric Trump, or anyway, one of Trump's sons announces the release of the Trump Mobile. Let's get into it.
What you're looking to quote unquote correct here?
Yeah. Well, you know what, Maria, more.
Why does it mess up like that? Hang on.
And you've got an announcement on a new phone. Tell me about that and what you're looking to quote unquote correct here.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Maria, more and more we're using technology as a company, right, to correct the problems. Obviously, Truth Social was to correct freedom of speech, right? I mean, he lost his throughout the political process. Obviously, crypto, and we got the biggest projects in crypto, was to correct another problem, which is the fact that they were debanking all conservatives. I was the most canceled person probably in the history of the country. And now we're doing Trump Mobile, and Trump Mobile is going to revolutionize cell phones, mobile calling. We're going to do it better. We're going to do it safer. We're going to have more functionality, more features.
He said they're going to revolutionize the mobile industry. How do they plan to revolutionize? See, because look, in politics, and y'all know I don't cover politics. I don't lean left, I don't lean right? I kind of, as I do with phone companies and cellular service companies, when I do reviews, when I give my opinion about stuff, it's my honest opinion. I try not to be biased. I try not to sway this way or that way, and this goes for politics. But my main point is, you can make claims in politics. Oh, we're going to clean up the country. Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do that. But we all know it's kind of rare it comes to fruition. So a lot of politicians get passes for just saying whatever they want to, and which like whatever. But when you say you're going to revolutionize the mobile phone industry, how do you plan on revolutionizing the mobile phone industry, right? Because they're going to do mobile phones safer. We got a big question about that later. What else did he say?
And the coolest thing about all these ventures is we're doing it right here in the United States. You're not calling up call centers in Bangladesh. You're doing it right out of St. Louis, Missouri, and you're going to have phones that are made right here in the United States of America.
So I know they've been hammering this online. Their call center, when you need help, is going to be here in America. I get that. It does suck, like when you call Chase or when you call Bank of America or when you call T-Mobile, they're in India, right? But they're saying, hey, you call for help with your plan, with your phone, with your service, it'll be here in America. I believe he said St. Louis, right? And then what else did he say? Oh, he said the phone was going to be made in America. Who knows, right? I mean, one thing we do know is the parts are not made in America. The parts are going to be imported, right? It's probably going to have a BOE display. It's probably all of the parts are going to be, you're going to have Samsung parts in there. You're going to have parts from China in there. Now, you can import those parts. His statement can halfway be true because technically, and we don't know, but technically what I'm assuming is that you get the parts you source the parts outside of the United States, you get them in the United States, and you basically put the phone together in the US. I'm assuming that's what they mean.
And it's going to be cheaper, $47 a month. You're going to have more international dialing for free, hundreds of countries, international dialing for free. It is the biggest bang for the buck, and we're really excited to get into the space. I mean, when you take kind of technology, obviously real estate's always been our bread and butter, but
biggest bang for your buck? Huh.
When you take the technology world between the social platforms, the actual hard devices, which is really what Trump Mobile is, and then kind of the true retail banking, CFI, DeFi, worlds of cryptocurrency, which is no question where the world is going. I really believe we're going to have one of the great kind of tech platforms as part of the Trump organization of any company in the world, and I couldn't be more proud of Trump Mobile.
So
interesting. So you heard it there from, I don't know, one of his sons, Eric Trump. I think that's the only one that I know, or at least the name that I know. So let's pull up the specs of this phone. and we'll get into the, then we'll jump into the service side, right? So let me pull up my screen here. Trump Mobile. So here we go. Come on now. You gotta be kidding me. There we go. Trump Mobile. This is the T1 phone. Price $499, right? So it's right there in the mid-range department. So what is it going to be competing against? Well, it's going to be competing against the Google Pixel 9a. I think that starts at $499. It's going to compete against the OnePlus 13R. I think that starts at $499. It's going to compete against, I think, the Samsung A56, 57. I don't know what the Samsung mid-range devices are. Even the Nothing Phone 3A Pro, that I believe is $499 or $475, something like that. And if you want to even get a one-year-old flagship, you can find a Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus. Very, very nice phone. Right around, the $500 used, right? So it's up against some very, very stiff competition. And that's just in the Android side, right? I mean, if you want to spend $500 on an iPhone, there's the iPhone 16e, right? That's $499, or you can get a one-year-old or probably two-year-old flagship. The prices don't go down as much as Android devices on iPhones, so you could probably get a iPhone 14 Pro Max for probably about $500. So it's up against some very, very stiff competition. Now let's look at some of these features. It says down payment $100. I'm assuming you can either buy it outright. I'm assuming this is like the other carriers where if you want to do $100 down and then you basically pay off the remaining $399 off with your plan, meaning they add it on to the monthly price of the plan, or you can just buy it outright, as I mentioned, right? Status coming soon, okay? So here it is, Model T1. This is the model number 8002. That is the gold version. Looks like you're getting a big 6.8 inch punch. Sorry. I was literally just telling my wife, they could have hired me and I could have done a way better job on their website, on their marketing. I could be hired as their PR. Look at the way they word this stuff. So a 6.8 inch hole punch AMOLED screen. We don't know if it's full HD, full HD plus. Is it 2K? We don't know. Is it a cheap 720p screen? We don't know. It just says 6.8 inch punch hole AMOLED screen. Punch hole. It doesn't even, isn't it hole punch? Whatever. 120 hertz refresh rate. That's probably the the highlight of the device. 50 megapixel main camera. Now, what are the other two cameras? We don't know. Could be macro, could be telephoto, could be periscope. Who knows? I doubt it's, anything that impressive, right? But they just give you a 50 megapixel main camera, 5,000 milliamp per hour, long life. Wait, long life camera? Shouldn't that be long life battery? You see what I'm talking about? Like, yeah. So, geez Louise. You see what I'm talking about? Like, how do you take this serious if they can't even get the wording right on their website? And I don't, again, I'm trying to be serious about this, but this is like little things like this just. Now look, most people that are going to buy this is not me or you. Most people that are going to buy this phone are, let's see, what's the think, because it's got the Trump name on it. So what's the typical Trump when you think, if you just ask a random person, what's the typical Trump supporter, right? Probably white, probably middle-aged, right? Probably a little older than me. I'm 40, right? So I'm assuming white 50s, maybe probably 50s, right? So those people are probably not that keen on wording, right? Because we're kind of making fun of them saying it's got a 5,000 million per hour long camera life. Like, what the hell? Long camera life? People like me or you are like, what is going on here? But then people like a 50-year-old white man that's not necessarily, familiar with tech, they just look at it and like, oh, okay, So stuff like that flies right over people's heads. People like us, sticks out like a red flag. Fingerprint sensor and AI face unlock. Is it really AI face unlock? I doubt it. Let's see here. Whoa, 12 gigs of RAM. Okay, not too shabby. 256 gigs of internal storage. Expandable via card slot. Card slot. Is that SD card slot they're talking about? Maybe. Anyways, display. Okay, we got that. Punch hole AMOLED. In screen fingerprint sensor. Okay. Here we go. Rear cameras. Oh, wow. Main camera, 50 megapixel. Depth sensor, 2 megapixel. Macro lens, 2 megapixel. So it's got a 50 megapixel. I'm assuming it's ultra wide. And then a pair of 2 megapixel sensors. Selfie camera, 16 megapixel. Battery, 5,000 million per hour with 20 watt PD fast charging. I think that's an oxymoron. I don't believe you can get fast charging out of 20 watts. Ports. It's got USB Type-C. That is a USB 2.0 port. It has OTG support. It does have a 3.5 headphone jack. Those of y'all wanting a headphone jack a phone, here's your shot. Get yourself that good old Trump T1 phone, right? Now, here's the main question I have about this device. It has some, on paper, some good specs, some laughable, some subpar specs. But here's my main, throwing all the funny stuff out the window and all that stuff. Let me be serious for a second. Here's my main issue and/or question. Operating system, Android 15. So here is what I wanted clarity. I told you a few minutes ago, I emailed their media relations person at the company and wanted a little more clarity, right? And I invited them on for an interview on the live stream. So if they say yes, I'll have somebody explain a little more in depth of the device, the specs, how it came about, and their future plans. Because with Android operating system 15, we all know Android, the stable version of Android 16 was just released, a week or two ago? That means it's being released with 1-year-old software. And what's the number one thing I'm always worried about? Security updates. And as you know, I always rag on Motorola because they never update their devices, right? They're always months and behind. And if you watched my video from yesterday, the notification hack, where it's a real thing. Google's aware of it, should patch it hopefully here pretty soon with this next monthly update patch. But here's a perfect example of why this is important, of why you need to use a device that gets monthly updates, up-to-date monthly updates, stays current with monthly security patches and software updates. Because what if there is what if somebody gets this phone, uses this phone, and the security is way outdated? It's vulnerable to attacks. And wouldn't you believe that hackers out there would love to do nothing more than throw dirt on Trump's name? And make this phone look completely unsecure, because that's what Eric Trump said in that interview. It's going to be the most secure phone out there. They're going to revolutionize the mobile industry. Well, you can't necessarily do that and or say that if you're running 1 year, if you release a device with 1-year-old software on it. Now, that notification hack that's out basically is there's a bug in Android. You can go and watch yesterday's live. You pull down your notification. There's a actual bug where somebody can maliciously swap out those links in your notification tray. As soon as you click the link, boom, they got you. They can either enter into your phone, observe what you're doing, and or get your payment information from your card, all sorts of private and personal stuff, right? But that's a perfect reason why you need a Pixel that's updated monthly. You need a Samsung device that's updated monthly. You need a Nothing phone that's updated monthly. Even OnePlus, right? I went through all those yesterday. How often, this is what I want answered, how often are they going to push security patch updates to this device? Because it's all fine and dandy. You can release a phone, but it's imperative that you support the device years after the device is released. Are they just going to push this out? Is this just a money grab for the Trump organization to just throw a phone out there and hope his staunch supporters are just going to buy this thing? If that's the case, I think they're in for the users are in for a rude awakening, because they're going to be prime targets for hackers. I can tell you that, especially with this thing being gold. Sticks out like a red flag. They're going to try to get into this thing and try to tarnish Trump's name by hacking into this phone, messing up all sorts of users, trying to do as much damage as possible. So I hope they're aware that they are targets, right? So how they're doing this, how they're releasing this phone, it looks like they're just branding a generic phone with the Trump name on it. So the Trump organization is not necessarily going to source the parts for this phone. The Trump organization is not necessarily going to manufacture and put those parts together and put the phone together. The Trump organization is not going to be at that call center that he talked about where it's USA people you talk to. They're basically they're partnering with another company to do all of that. They're just putting their Trump name on top of everything. Now, that's easier for a Trump organization or anybody to do that than actually have a company that sources parts, that puts the phone together, like Nothing, right? Nothing would be the other end of the stick. Nothing that sources parts, that has a manufacturing plant, that deals with support and sells the device. That's doing a vertical integration, doing everything yourself. Trump is basically organizations basically getting a third-party company to do all that. They're just putting their name on the phone. But that's almost more of a risk, because you're really depending upon this third-party company that's sourcing your parts, that's manufacturing this phone, to have competent developers and a number of developers, because they're going to be under pressure to push security patches out. And look, Google uploads that security patch to the Android device tree, and it's up to Nothing developers to pull that code and input their own code and then issue that out to their phones. Samsung does the same thing. OnePlus does the same thing. It's going to be up to this third-party company, assuming they have developers, right? Obviously it's going to run Android. Is it going to be a stock? Probably going to be stock. I doubt they have a lot of money. And that's the problem for these cheaper Android phone companies that make Android look bad. They don't have a lot of developers, right? When Nothing started, I remember Carl Pei saying he hired more developers than he needed, because he wanted the operating system, the software is an absolute imperative part of the piece of the puzzle, right? And if this third-party company Trump is using, if they don't have that many developers, if they're not on top of their game, they might not be issuing security updates every month. And with them releasing an operating system with Android 15, that's a year old, right? So that's going to be something, if you are interested in getting this phone, look, that's up to you, right? That's something you're gonna have to think about. I was thinking about getting one just to review it on the channel. I'm like, no, I'm not getting one. And let's look into the check compatibility. Let's see down here. Let's get into the plan, right? This should be a GSM phone, 5G. What the hell is going on here? Their website's probably overloaded. They literally just launched it. Either that or the link doesn't work. It doesn't, because it says check compatibility, and on the bottom it says go to the 47 plan. So let's go to the 47 plan. What the hell is going on? Damn, they're quick to take your oh, here we go. Say quick to take your money. They got the payment information, everything right down there. So we discussed the phone, the hardware. Now let's discuss the other side, the actual plan. So this is going to be an MVNO, meaning this will directly compete with Mint Mobile. This will directly compete with Helium Mobile. This will directly compete with Spectrum. This will directly compete with Visible, with Metro PCS, Cricket, right? All of those smaller ones that basically use the one of the big three, their data, their towers. So this is just like a Mint Mobile, right? So the 47 plan, and what's interesting about the monthly cost is, you can tell it's $47.45 a month. Do you know why they chose those numbers? Because Trump is the 47th and 45th president of the United States. So they kind of tie that in there real nice and neat. But here's the in as far as competing with other carriers, if I'm not mistaken, did Eric Trump say cheapest or most affordable? He said something like that, right? Because $47 a month is not the cheapest.
And you've got an announcement on a new phone. Tell
More and more we're using technology as a company, right, to correct the problems. Obviously, Truth Social was to correct freedom of and crypto, was to correct another problem, which is the fact that they were debanking all conservatives. I was the most canceled person probably in the history of the country, and now we're doing Trump Mobile, and Trump Mobile is going to revolutionize kind of cell phones, mobile calling. We're going to do it better. We're going to do it safer. We're going to have more functionality, more features. And the coolest thing about all these ventures is we're doing it right here in the United States. You're not calling up call centers in Bangladesh. You're not, you're doing it right out of St. Louis, Missouri, and you're going to have phones that are made right here in the United States of America, and they're going to have, it's going to be cheaper, $47 a month. You're going to have more international.
Cheaper, $47 a month. That's not a true statement, because with Helium Mobile, they actually have a free plan. Believe it or not, a free plan. Now, you get like a gig a month and 300 text messages and 300 minutes, but it's free, right? So his statement's false. Now, Mint Mobile, $15 a month. Spectrum or not, Visible, $20 a month. There's a ton of MVNOs that have plans right in that $20 to $25 a month service. Even the most common, which is the round number of $30 a month, is the most common MVNO plan. So that's not a true statement. Now, it's the 47.45. It's a catchy little, dollar and cent price for his 47th and 45th president of the United States. But I think they're doing that because it's more expensive than a Mint Mobile or a Visible, because they have more overhead. Now, I don't know how they have the business set up as far as, I don't know who's behind this. I don't know. We'll look in to see whose service they're using. But if you do have a call center that's here in the United States, you do have to pay them more right, than somebody in India. That's why companies have call centers in India, because they get paid, what, $3.16 an hour, compared to here in the United States, which minimum wage is what, I don't know, almost $8 an hour, which nobody, I don't, you know, whatever. They would definitely have to pay more of that. There's no way you can live off $8 an hour, but they have more overhead. So plus they're trying to make a bigger profit, right? Trump's all about money. So of course they're going to be more expensive to try to make a profit. Plus they're going to have, it sounds like a little more overhead, but it's certainly not the cheapest. Now let's see, let me remove this and let me bring this back up. Now, let's get into the plan details. So you get unlimited for that $47.45 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited texting, unlimited data for the first 20 gigs at high speed, and we'll look into that. Nationwide coverage on the U.S. networks. U.S. networks, which networks? Well, we'll find out. International calling to 100 destinations. Device protection, device coverage because life happens. Roadside assistance, that's nice. Provided by Drive America. Telehealth and pharmacy benefits, wow. Got a nice healthcare plan tied into your mobile device, President Trump. Unlimited 24/7, 365 telehealth via video or phone. Mental health and wellness. Don't forget about your prescription drug discount program. Now, unlimited texting may be subject to data limits. And then the double star, where was that? I don't even see a double star, do y'all? Device protection. Oh, here it is. Damn, they forgot to put a double star up here to mark which one they're talking about. It should go right there. See these double stars? I could have done a better website. Device protection is provided by a third-party provider. Device protection is not insurance. See protection terms and details. Telehealth, mental health, and wellness, and prescription services provided by third-party providers. Join Trump Mobile today. Do you have your own phone? If you have your own phone, we'll supply the SIM card for you to put inside. Check to see if your phone is compatible with our networks. Then all you need to purchase is a plan that best fits your needs. Now, check phone compatibility. Locate the IMEI. Insert it into the field on the right to see your phone compatible on the right. Oh, here it is, down here. Let's see here. I'm going to click on more details, though. There's that billing info they're so eager to take. Now, check this out. Let's see what networks it's on. Coverage map. Actually, you know what? Hang on. Before we do that, I want to see the protection. What is it? A Shurion? Let's see. Trump Mobile partners with third-party service providers to deliver reliable mobile connectivity, secure payments, and efficient shipping. Key partners. Mobile network operators provide network access and SIM activation. Payment processors, Stripe, PayPal, and other secure payment gateways. Shipping partners, customer support systems, Zendesk, analytics providers, blah, 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 blah. I wanted to know who you got insurance with. Drive America, that's all they're saying. Roadside assistance. Oh, here it is. Omega Mobile Care. Never heard of them before. Interesting. Crack screen replacements, mechanical electrical breakdowns up to $2,000 per year. If we can't fix the device, we'll replace it with a device of same or kind and quality. All right, so let's go. Never heard of them before. Let's jump into coverage map and see what services they use. Explore the different broadband options. I mean, looks like it covers most cities. Let's go a little deeper. Let's go into where I'm located. And I put the link, if you are interested, I put the link for the Trump Mobile in the description box below. So everything I'm doing here, you can do on your own. You can do on your side. So that's 5G. It looks like you get most major cities and highways are covered in this map. which I would expect. Now let's turn 5G off, and that's 4G. Interesting. Map and service info. Let's see. Not all 5G devices and signals are compatible. Check your device specs. 5G devices. You know what? I wonder if GSM Arena has specs for this, because I want to see what bands it has. It may say here. Map information. Map approximate. Okay. Including 600 megahertz. Okay, that's common. Let's see. Some coverage, narrow band IoT, millimeter wave, 5G, not depicted. So let me go to GSM T1 Trump phone GSM Arena. Let's see if they have the specs on it. Yes, they do. Check this out. Why didn't I go here first? I have no idea. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so we do have some more specs here. So we know the screen is a 1080p by 2460p. So that's going to be like 1080p plus, right? So it's going to be like, but it's a 6.8 inch display or 6.78. So, I mean, that's kind of what I would expect for a $500 phone. Let's jump into, here we go. Damn, that's it. So it's a GSM unlocked phone, but they don't say what bands, what 4G and 5G bands. Interesting. GSM, you get all the regular GSM bands, but 4G, 5G, who knows? Look, I'm assuming it'll work on, it'll definitely work on T-Mobile networks. But can we get, hang on, let's look at this other specs. Let's see. Oh, so it technically only has, damn, those are really bad cameras. So video, you can do 4K at 30, 1080p at 30. So there's no 60 frames per second. NFC unspecified? Does this not have NFC? What the hell? Okay, let's see if we can grab some more information on, actually, let me say, I'll link this in the description box below. Let's try to look up Trump, what are they calling it? Trump mobile specifications. Sorry, I meant to say hi to y'all. Bama fan, what's going on, brother? You know, there's this new option on StreamYard here. It says I can put this on the screen. On the bottom right here, it'll show there would be a conflict of interest. Yeah, I know Elon's been talking about putting out a phone, but you know what? His is going to be the same thing, right? Can't put out an iPhone, so it's got to be an Android. Would Elon Musk put out a flagship device? Maybe. I would bet no, but it's possible, right? But in the back of my mind, if Elon Musk put out a phone, I would think it'd be the same thing. Now, not as low spec as this Trump phone, but look, this is going to be a short-lived venture for Trump. Very short. I don't say very, but I just don't see this going far, right? It's like some of the other ventures he does that just pops up. It's just a money grab. And they're just giving naming rights. So they don't actually own the phone manufacturer. They don't actually, well, they might own the MVNO, the data, the plans that I'm about to look up. They may own that, but it's just more of a money grab. So I don't see this, like in 10 years from now, I don't see like a Trump T10 phone. I just don't. Same thing with Elon. I don't think it's going to be successful, right? It's just too hard. If I had to choose between a Trump phone, a T1, and a nothing phone 3A Pro, what do you think I'm getting? If you have the option of getting a T1 Trump phone and a OnePlus 13R, what phone are you getting? Right? Like, now I get it. You and I, as I mentioned earlier, we're not necessarily the key market for this phone. Shit, even this plan, really. I'm not paying $47 a month when I can pay half of that. It's not really meant for us, if that makes sense. It's more kind of meant for the person that's not too familiar. They're like, oh, I need a new phone. Oh, I heard Trump came out with a phone. Let me buy that one. You know, it's for those kind of people, right? Let me look up this mobile real quick. Let's see here. So here's an article from Tom's Guide. I want information on the actual service. It will rely on other carriers' towers for service. In a statement announcing the launch of Trump Mobile, the Trump organization says it's offering 5G service, oh wow, get this, through all 3 major cellular carriers, which would mean AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. So the service may not suck. It actually sounds like it may be legit, right? But $47 a month, you can buy and find far better, cheaper service, I think. Now, you do get the benefit of getting all 3 major networks, but I mean, there's a lot of options out there, you know? Let's see, any new info? T1 phone price, it does feature ultra wide. Yeah, we would expect that. Dual lens setup with an ultra wide camera. Okay. Yeah, we just went into that. So, while the phone isn't supported to arrive until August, the Trump organization is taking pre-orders now, though you'll have to put a deposit of $100, around 1/5 of the total cost, to secure your order. So I guess if you want one, you can either pay full price, or you can put down at least $100, basically as a deposit, right? Let's see. A reporter for 404 Media tried placing a pre-order for the T1 phone, and the website failed, and his credit card was charged $64.70. Yikes. Y'all see that? Check this out. 404 Media, who owns this publication, Tom's Guide, check this out. For what it's worth, a reporter for 404 Media tried placing a pre-order for the T1 phone, which is Trump's phone, the T1. According to his account, the website failed and his card was still charged $64.70. Yikes. It's going to be cheaper, $47 a month, he said. You're going to have more internet, more international dialing for free. Who says that? Who says dialing? You mean talk? Hundreds of countries, international dialing for free. It's the biggest bang for your buck. Maybe it is, but I don't think I'm gonna find out. $47 a month, unlimited plan certainly undercuts the big carriers charge for unlimited data. T-Mobile's Essential Saver costs $50 a month after an auto-pay discount, and AT&T has $51 a month, Verizon $65 a month, and so on and so on. So here they have a breakdown. Trump Mobile 47 plan, high-speed data, 20 gigs. AT&T value plan, speeds can be slower if network is congested. Yeah, AT&T sucks. Boost Mobile unlimited plan, $25 a month, and you get 30 gigs of unlimited data. Well, I shouldn't say 30 gigs of unlimited data. You get unlimited data, but the the speed reduces after you use 30 gigabytes of that data allotment. Mint Mobile, $30 upfront annual payment. There is no cap. T-Mobile, $50 a month, 50 gig cap. Verizon, $65 a month. Speeds can be slower if congested. Invisible, $35 a month with a 50 gigabyte plan cap. Well, interesting. So that is very interesting. So let me know what you think. Are you going to be getting it? I'm not. I'm not going to get the phone, and I'm not going to get the service. Although, you know, that might not make for a bad YouTube video. Maybe I will get the service. I wish they had a try for free type of thing. You know, some of these companies will let you try it for free for like a week because they want to test it out. But I don't know. I'm going to let it kind of settle down a bit. It sounds like their website may be crashing due to it being launched today and all the media frenzy around it. I might do a review of the service. Definitely not getting the phone. Yeah, it sure does. That's what I was thinking. It seems like the webpage is geared toward older demographic. That's what I was thinking. Like, it's probably geared towards old people, honestly. Look at Cricket. Smoking deals. You love it? Cricket. Yeah, you know, they don't even have Cricket on here, do they? Yeah, they have made some network improvements lately. Thank you for bringing that up. I was looking into them maybe last month. I have a Boost Mobile here that I use, SIM, and that I use in some of my phones. But I actually have a couple of Cricket SIM cards laying around here. Good program. I'm getting some laughs in this area. Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I was saying. For people like you and me, we're like, what the hell is this? And then, you know, some of those specs and the website just looks janky. Like, that's what I was saying. And I'm kind of tongue-in-cheek, right? Like, I'm kind of serious, but kind of not. I'm like, they could have freaking hired me. I would have made it look way better, and you wouldn't have those little mistakes on your website. It just looks janky, but whatever. Oh, before we get out of here, that reminds me, there's some Pixel news that I want to get into real quick. So we'll sum this up, but if you're going to get it, let me know in the comments, but I don't think that'll be many. Let's get into some of this Pixel news. So check this out. So we have code names, internal naming for Google Pixel 12 series. I said Pixel 12, Pixel 12. So as you know, these phones take a long time to come to fruition to get to launch date. It's not like they were just working on this phone. Like when the Pixel 10 comes out in August, it's not like they were just working on this Pixel 10 for the last year, right? Since the Pixel 9 came out. They work on these things basically from idea or when they get started working on stuff, basically 5 years, right? Just for one phone model to come out. So this stuff is well planned in advance. Now, we do have code names for Pixel 12 devices, and it's going to take shit. They do this weird naming thing where forever they did fish. They named these code names for like the Pixel 8 series, I think, were named after fish. And then I think when they ran out of names, they went to other animals, horses, and I think with this one they're going to do monkeys, which I have no idea how do they pick this stuff. But we do have code names for Pixel 12 series. Yes, it's a ways away, but as I mentioned, they plan this stuff far in advance. So if you're interested, we'll move along. It's just noteworthy. It does look like we are going to have these same models, right? So you're going to have 4 Pixel devices, a Pixel 10, a Pixel 12, Pixel 12 Pro, Pixel 12 Pro XL, and the Pixel 12 Pro Fold. And those names, code names are Galago, Sasquatch, Silverback, and Capuchin. Yeah. These primate-themed names would follow Pixel 11's bear names and Pixel 10's horse names. Expect the same sort of 4-device lineup, including a foldable for the 2027 lineup. So those are out and about. Now, another story here real quick. I'm getting excited for this Pixel 10. Now, I know when this Pixel 10 series gets launched, you're going to see a lot of people basically shit on the Pixel series. Pardon my French. But that's just what's going to happen, right? And you're going to see people on Reddit, and you're going to see people in YouTube comments saying, oh, I don't need to upgrade. They look the same. It's basically the same phone. And that's not a bad thing, right? Like, I think this Pixel 9 Pro XL is probably one of my favorite looking phones of all time. It's freaking beautiful. I love this thing. And that's a whole nother reason to get it again. At least they didn't screw it up, but I'm definitely getting the Pixel 10. And it's what's inside is what's going to be different. So you get the brand new Tensor G5, Google built in TSMC manufactured from the ground up. No more Samsung. But we also got a look as far as what the hardware is going to be for these camera sensors. It looks like the Pixel takes the best photos, hands down. They just do, right? Even iPhone. When I take pictures with an iPhone, my skin looks pink, right? And I'm like, I take pictures, I'm like, what the hell is this? Pink? iPhone cameras, not that good. Pixel cameras are the absolute best, and guess what? They're gonna get even better. That's hard to believe, but they are, right? Pixel is gonna design an all new ISP, image signal processor, from the ground up, right? And we got a camera leak that reveals Google's trick for extreme close-ups. And it's not necessarily what you may think it is. So for close-ups, Google's going to use what they call a telemacro photo. Now, you kind of get the point. It's a telephoto lens and a macro lens combined. Telephoto lenses are good for zooming. Macro lenses are good for up close. You combine the two, you can get really, really, really close up pictures and zoom in. This should be really cool. So, a new report claims the Pixel use a telemacro photography for one of the sensors, right? I think all the Pixel 10s this year are getting the 3 sensors across the back. One of them will be this telemacro. The ultra-wide cameras may also retain macro functionality. Interesting. According to a report from Android Headlines, the Pixel 10 series will gain telemacro functionality. This feature that allows the phone to use the telephoto lens for macro photography instead of the ultra-wide. It's something that has been gaining traction recently with appearances in the Oppo Find N5 and the OnePlus 13. The OnePlus 13 takes phenomenal close-up photos. Probably better than any other phone I've used. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So if they're taking that same technology and putting it in a Pixel 10 series, it's going to be badass. It says, although the Pixel 10 series may use the telephoto sensor for macro photography, Google may not remove the macro functionality from the ultra-wide sensor. Now that explains the reason for this is that the telephoto's minimum focusing distance is further than the ultra-wide. As a result, how far away you are from your subject will determine which lens is used. And let's hope it's not a big glitch. Switching between the two lenses like they've had for so many years, and they've gotten to reduce it a certain amount, but there's still a glitch there when you go over 5x. So right until you zoom in on coming from that main shooter, if you go to your Photos app, whether it's a still photo or a video, if you go all the way up to like 4.9 zoom, as soon as you hit 5.0 and over, you get this little glitch where you can see it switching sensors. Basically, it's not as smooth when you use an iPhone or Samsung. You can't even tell it's switching sensors, but with Google you can. It has gotten better. In the past it was really bad. It has gotten better in every release. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. That little glitch reduces less and less and less each year. And let's just hope the Pixel 10, it's not really a big deal. Kind of annoying. but you still get phenomenal photos and videos, so it's not that big of a deal. It's just kind of a pain in the ass, bugs some people, but we'll see if it gets eliminated with this Pixel 10 series. Definitely going to be getting I think I'm going to get the Pro XL this year. I was thinking about getting the smaller one, but I'll just get the Pro XL. That's the one I've always chosen, and been very, very happy with this one, so I would like to continue the Pixel tradition over here. But they will release on August the 20th. Phones are expected to ship on the 28th. So we will have full coverage of the Pixel 10 series release here on eSIMstudios. So make sure you subscribe for all your Pixel coverage, all your Trump T1 phone coverage. Subscribe, and I may or may not get the service, but I'll look into that little in the future. But I do appreciate the time. I'm going to jump out of here. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.